Got an indie movie here today called The Burned Over District. This is from Cosmic Films. Never heard of Cosmic Films, but it's one of those burn on demand titles where it is Blu-ray. It does look good. It will play in your Xbox and your, Blu-ray players and whatnot, but it is a BDR, which to some people can be kind of a letdown. To me, I don't really care anymore at this point. I'm just glad there's physical media out there. Cool cover. But other than that, it's kind of a mixed bag. This is directed by a pair of brothers. I'm trying to see, was it Vince Coleman and James Coleman? I guess they're just the Coleman brothers, but they did like some, I think maybe some fan films for Halloween or something along those lines. But they made this one. It starts off with our lead guy, and he's in an automobile wreck, and his old lady gets killed, and like she's really hot, but that's beside the point. But she's really hot. She dies, which I also noticed from that point that the effects are pretty good here. The gore is pretty good here when you do got it. So he begins grieving. His mom don't really care. His sister is really sympathetic. And then weird things start happening around town, or you start noticing weird things that apparently wasn't noticeable till after his wife died. And then you kind of learn that the town ain't necessarily what it seems to be. As you can see here, you're dealing with a cult, or at least part of the town is a cult, and it ties into like this big hole in his backyard and all this stuff, and it kind of ties back into his wife being killed. But things happen, and it turns into a bit of a revenge flick, which, when it gets to that point in the later half, it's more entertaining than it is during the start, because at the start, it kind of drags its feet a little bit because it's being very dramatic, and sometimes in a horror film like this, you kind of just want the bells and whistles and the blood and the gore. So when you get past the somber and the people were trying really hard to put in good acting performance portion of the film, when you get down to the meat and potatoes and the more campy aspects of it and the gore aspects of it and the cult aspects of it and the revenge aspects of it, that's when you end up with a much better film. That being said, the gore is good. Acting is good, even though people tend to overact. Some parts may be a little corny, a little seen before, but these days, what isn't? That being said, it's about 20 minutes, probably too long than it needs to be. And all in all, I give the movie a 2.5 out of 5. It's not a bad movie. Like I said, it is a burnt on demand title, as you can see here. So keep that in mind when you watch it. Put together well. As you can see, it's got some nice looks to it. It looks good. There's a good color scheme to the movie, so they at least made it look cool. It feels kind of campy-ish. It feels kind of, kind of that vibe that you like if you like 80s horror. But there is some faults to it, but there is some positives to it. So when you go into it, just know it's a mixed bag. But overall, 2.5, worth a watch if you like cult stuff, if you like indie stuff. Other than that, it could have picked up the pace a little bit, and it could have probably tried not to take itself so serious some of the time.